This is the wave sail rigging guide. So take your sail out of your sail bag. Bungee is wrapped around the easy downhole. Take it off the easy downhole. The bungee will disappear straight into the tack fairing. Unroll the sail as far as it will unroll. Take the two halves of your mast and put them together. Make sure you put these together with as little sand as possible. We have the sand stopper in there, so really all you need to do is clean the outside right here. Put the mast together, make sure it's perfectly flush on the connection. Not having it flush on the connection could damage your product, or your sail won't rig to the right rigging specs. So make sure that this is flush. Then put the mast into the sail. And at the top of the boom opening, we have a little stiffener that holds the boom opening open. That makes it nice and easy to put the mast into the opening above the boom. Put the mast into the sail. Don't force it any further than it wants to go. Simply now grab it up at the top of the boom opening. Push it in once, take out the slack, push it in the second time, take out the slack again, and we fold open the tack fairing to expose the easy downhole. We take our extension, we set it to the recommended settings, print it onto the sail. So this one's already set to 24 for this sail. Put it into the mast again, try to avoid too much sand in there, as it will or could jam your extension. And we use the nice easy downhole block. Loop the rope around there, pull the rope, put it around the pulley on the extension. Now we just take the downhole cord and apply the downhole to the sail. Quite easy. The excessive rope gets stored into the mesh pocket on the tack fairing. So put it through the pulley, wrap it around your hand, and put it into its mesh pocket so it keeps out of the way while you're sailing, and fold the tack fairing back down. Then we take our boom, put it onto the sail. Depending on your boom height, we have printed the length for you. So if your boom is set to the middle of the opening, there's a middle print, top print, and that print determines your boom length, or is a recommended boom length. So for me it's 142. At the height that I've set my boom, we simply set the boom to that same setting. So I've got a 140 boom. I set it to 2 centimeters, making it 142. Put the loop of the boom through the clew, and we pull the out hole to the recommended settings. Put a few knots, and we are ready to go. Okay, for tuning your wave sail, there's a little bit or quite minimal trimming you can do. At your downhole, we want to have the leech. This is actually quite a full-on downhole setting, so we would probably reduce the tension just a little bit. On the wave sail, we want to keep the leech slightly tight. Helps to give you control while you're riding waves. It gives you instant feedback when you try to do some jumps. For example, you want to do a forward, you sheet the sail, and the rotation will become very instant. And we kind of play just with the out hole, because the downhole has a relatively small range of trimming. The out hole has a bit more of a range. So on the out hole, we loosen it slightly to try to gain some power to the sail. You can see that there's quite a big trimming range. A tighter out hole will give you a lot more control and a little bit less power, because the profile depth decreases. A little bit less out hole will give you a deeper profile, more power, but also a little bit less stability. There's also a thing with boom height. Dropping the boom down will give you two reasons for more control. A lower boom gives you a little bit more control, but also because the boom is quite diagonal onto the sail, it gives you a bit more out hole tension, which actually helps you to control the sail as well. So if all of a sudden the wind increases, my advice would be drop the boom down a little bit. If that doesn't do enough, crank the out hole a little bit more. Don't over out hole it. You'll lose the platform that you need for having some drive in the sail, which is very important for control as well. But you definitely play with the out hole. For the batten tension on the wave sail, bottom 2 battens, moderate tension, top batten, or if it's a 4 batten wave sail like the 5.3 and the 5.8, top 2 battens, don't give too much tension. Just enough to get the wrinkles out is all that it needs. Giving too much tension on your top battens will make the leech a little bit tight. It might push a little bit of profile into the top of the sail, which is really difficult to control. So top 2 battens, light tension, bottom 2 battens, medium tension, I would say. Okay, to derig the sail, it's pretty much a reverse procedure of rigging. So We're going to start with taking off the out hole, undo the loop, make sure the rope is out of the clew. We're going to take the boom off. Always make sure to take the boom off the mast before reducing the downhole. If you let go of the downhole when the boom is still on the mast and the boom is at a low position in the boom opening, you could easily damage the bottom of your boom opening. So we always make sure the boom is removed before we take off any downhole. Then we're going to fold open the tach fairing, going to take out the string, and then we just simply drop the sail down. As the cleat on the north extension is facing up, it's relatively easy. We just put our foot on it, pull it up out of the cleat, slowly let the tension come off, undo the loop, and we are ready to take the mast out. For taking the mast out, there is a rubbery patch at the top, which if you push it into the ground, it gives a bit of friction. You give it a little spin, and the mast just comes right out without having to walk up to the top of the sail. Take the base off the top out of the sail. When you have the mast out of the sail, always make sure you store it in the mast bag that comes with the mast. It protects your mast from any sharp or hard surfaces and gives you the longest lifespan of your product. For rolling up the sail, we're going to make a nice tight tuck at the very top that keeps the roll nice and tiny, very nice and small. On the wave sail, the luff sleeve is a laminated luff sleeve, so you do need to sometimes help the luff sleeve to roll up nicely. This is just helping you to store your product a little bit nicer. And we roll all the way down to the bottom batten. Make sure the batten is parallel to the roll. If it isn't, you can easily change the angle by simply pulling or pushing this out. And then we roll over the bottom batten. We fold the tach fairing back down, take the elastic band that's hiding inside the tach fairing, put it around the easy downhole, and we are good to go. Put this in your sail bag, keep it stored in a nice way.